This is the Sim Auto Racing Association Super Late Models at Myrtle Beach Speedway. And this is the Sim Marketing Solutions Super Series for the Hub Used Sim Racing Giveaways 150 here at Myrtle Beach. We got 25 cars doing battle here tonight at this little half-mile racetrack. And if anything from last night in the Davis Chassis Works Contender Series gives us any idea of how this race is going to go, there's going to be some great racing going on, hard racing. The track's going to be slick, and it's going to be interesting to see who can come out on top for tonight's race. But before we move on any further, let's go back and talk a little bit about last week, where Jimmy Mullis came away with the win at the Support Our Troops 150 by USO. We were at Langley Speedway, and it was his sixth career win, and he led 24 laps. He qualified second, and him and Jim Caudell Jr. had a heck of a battle. If you missed it last week, go back and watch that race. Like I said, those guys had a battle up front, and actually there was just battles up front all night long. It was extremely fun to watch. Like I said, Jim Caudell Jr. came away in second. Cameron Hamilton was third. Joe Schaefer Jr., who's our series points leader, is in fourth, and Tyler Price rounded out your top five. Jim Caudell Jr. was your pole winner in that race. Daniel Williamson was your top rookie and finished in ninth. The hard charger went to Dante Curtis with a plus 11 positions gained. And for the Hides Pride head-to-head throwdown, David Krikorian came away with that. But here we are into this week, like I said, for the Hub Used Sim Racing Giveaways 150. And we'll go ahead and bring in the sponsor for tonight's race, and AJ Rogers, see if we can get a little insight on what the Hub Used Sim Racing Giveaways is. I'm a part of it there on the Facebook page. I highly suggest everyone else do it. AJ, thanks for taking a little bit of time out of practice here. We won't keep you too long, so you can get back out there and turn some more laps. But we're just talking about the Hub and the used sim racing giveaways, and if you can just shed a little light on how people can get involved with that, and and what it is and everything.
Well, the way you can get involved is just go to Facebook. Everybody carries their phone around in their hands, and just ask to join the page. It's called the Hub Used Sim Giveaways. We also have another page that's called the Hub, which I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with, where they do new stuff. Right now we're a little bit on the slower side because I believe it's just summertime and everybody's out enjoying the weather. But we do giveaways for any type of used sim racing equipment. There could be slots for $5, there could be slots for $10, and so on. And then if you happen to get drawn the number that you're on, you win what's up, and it gets shipped to you, and you get to enjoy your new gift.
Yeah, it's I'm like I said, I'm a part of it. I know Clay's a part of it. I think he even won something on there once before as well. So it's really cool how it all ends up working out, and everyone gets a fair shake on it. So definitely everyone needs to go over and join those Facebook groups and get up there and bid on some stuff and try to win some things. So thanks for sponsoring the race here tonight. This should be an exciting race. So we'll take your little sponsor hat off here. We'll go ahead and put the driver hat on. What are you expecting for here tonight, and how you think things are going to shake out?
Well, right now I got to get the bad luck monkey off my back. It just seems like I can't shake it, and I'm struggling with the cars a little bit, just with this new build, just like everybody else. Hoping I can just pace and keep going and make it to the end. It's a really long race, and just got to conserve tires.
Well, last night they've had some good racing going on there, and overall this year you've had some good races and some good showings, but with some bad luck. It seems like on your side, mainly this year, getting caught up in other people's messes and so forth. So hopefully here tonight everything can play out for you, make your way up through the field, and maybe we'll catch you at the end of the night and have an interview with you when you're on the podium.
It sure would be nice. That'd be a huge thing for me to actually to be in the top. I'm shooting with top 10, top 5 would be amazing, especially in this league. So hopefully we get to talk later.
All right, bud. Before we get you on your way, is there any thanks or shout outs you'd like to give?
Well, just shout out to my teammate. Made a pretty big move here recently, and it's on the back of my car, so I'm super excited about that. Just my sponsors, of course, the Hub that I run, Midwest Power Source, RBRC is a good friend of mine, and we work a lot of hours and a lot of time on these cars trying to figure them out. So hopefully I got it right tonight.
We'll definitely keep an eye on you, and good luck tonight, bud.
Thank you, sir.
Alrighty, that was AJ Rogers. Like I said, go over to the hub. They got the used section of it, which is pretty neat as well. Or they got the new one as well. It's pretty exciting to see. I've bidded on a few things myself. Unfortunately, I was not able to come away with any of those. But like I said, Clay Snyder did. I believe he got a button box, if I'm not mistaken, from that whole deal. So. Pretty neat thing. Definitely go over and check them out, and thank you to them for sponsoring for tonight's race, because without them, our sponsors, we cannot do that. So that's a good segue to go ahead and bring them up. We'll go ahead and give them some love here with Sim Marketing Solutions, who sponsors this league here tonight on Thursday nights. You got Davis Chassis Works that sponsors the Wednesday night race. Hans Pride Leather and Sheepskin. They've been a long time SARA Sim Auto Racing Association sponsor, and tonight they have the head-to-head throwdown once again, and I'll go over that here in just a moment. Midwest Power Source Inc., Callaway Investments, who sponsors our Tuesday night Street Stock Series, Race1.us, Canadian Rail Serve, the Hub Used Racing Sim Racing Giveaways, sponsor tonight's race, Loco Toco Designs, who have paint schemes all over the track here tonight, Dynamic Autosport, USO, Can-Am Racing Series, and the East-West Modifieds. And like I said, here tonight for the head-to-head, Hans Pride head-to-head throwdown, there's extra money on the line for tonight's race. And basically, row 9 will be Kyle Souza and AJ Rogers, who we just spoke with. There's going to be battling now for a little extra prize money there, so we'll have to keep an eye out for those guys. Like I told AJ, we would keep an eye out for him, and that's the reason why. So we'll see who comes away there. Right now, Souza's just about a tenth and a half faster than AJ Rogers on the practice board, so we'll see how it all shakes out. That doesn't mean anything, as we're doing 150 laps here tonight. No extra tires. Open setup, obviously, for the Sim Auto Racing Association. No fast resets at all either. Now, there was some little news here. Like I said, Jimmy Mullis won last week, and he is part of the Sim Marketing Solutions race team now. And basically, with the Sim Marketing Solutions, they introduce real-world sponsors to sim racers and works with them to ensure they receive maximum benefit for their exposure to the sim racing community. So they got a huge get right there with Jimmy Mullis hopping on board that team. He's always fast. Currently, he's 10th in practice, and he will be starting 10th here tonight as well, being that he won last night. So big get for them. Cars are gridding up currently. We'll go ahead, as soon as they do, we'll go ahead and bring up the grid to go through our lineup. Now, our pole center in qualifying was Ryan Matthews. He set fast time. But there was a 9-car invert, which means that Samuel Roush will start on the pole here tonight. Like I stated, Mullis will be starting 10th due to the winner's invert. He qualified into the top 10. Go ahead and bring up the starting grid there. We'll go through that. Like I said, Samuel Roush is on the pole, and the outside of him with a heck of a qualifying run was Michael Goddard. Dante Curtis is starting 3rd. Jim Caudell Jr. starting 4th. In your 3rd row is your series points leader, the 3-time series champion, and Joe Schaefer Jr., and just the outside of him is the SARA League head admin, and Matt Rolfe. The old Wiley vet Ty Spearman is in 7th. Ryan Matthews, like I said, was fast time here tonight, starting 8th. Keith Medeiros starting 9th, and starting 10th was last year's series champion and last week's race winner, Jimmy Mullis. Starting 11th is Cameron Hamilton. 12th is David Kikorian. Starting 13th is Jason Miller. 14th is Brandon Wilkinson. 15th is Trevor Edwards. 16th is Alan Pajari. 17th and 18th, this is the Hans Pride throwdown row right here, is AJ Rogers and Kyle Souza. 19th is Matthew Eddy. 20th is Russell Berry. 21st, Jared Boris. 22nd, Grant Brown. 23rd, Ben Nile. 24th, Gareth Gonder. And last but certainly not least is Tyler Price. And Tyler Price was fast last night. I think he screwed up his qualifying last night too, and he made his way up towards the front before getting into a late race wreck in the Davis Chassis Works Contender Series. But we'll definitely have to see if he can work his way up through this field. Obviously, this field is a lot tougher, as this is an invite-only league. And he's going to have his hands full here. But we're at 1 to go. We'll go ahead and the start is on Samuel Roush. Now, we do have a reach star box here at Myrtle Beach, and once he's in that box, it's on him to go whenever he wants. coming up to that box there, and we are green, green, green. He gets off to a good start here. Michael Goddard's going to try to squeeze down, as the inside line is going to be the preferred groove early on. Goddard throws it in there until he's seen pretty much what his last name is, and he still made it work coming out of 2, but Dante Curtis is going to get the advantage as they go down into 3. They're still side by side. Joe Schaefer Jr. is going to try to fill that void there for 3rd place, but he's going to fall in line at 4th. Everyone's trying to get it figured out. Like I said, they're going to be bottom feeding here early on. In last night's race, the groove did move up about 2.5 lanes here. I was able to make some hay last night's race in doing that as well, so I would say probably in the next 15 to 20 laps, if we get them in green flying, you're going to see guys start moving up. As you see, Roush is already up in the 2nd groove, trying to square up the exit here. Curtis is going to eat him up coming out of 2. Just behind them is Joe Schaefer Jr., just below Michael Goddard, going into 3 as they're side by side for 3rd. And we're going to have a battle for the lead as well. Dante Curtis is looking down to the inside of Samuel Roush as they go down into 1. This is kind of how it was last night as well, as you had great racing all around. This series is just getting better and better with the races up front. And for the past few weeks, has been nothing but leaders just battling it out for the lead, as you have some different guys qualifying up front each week. And it's leading to some great racing and some new fresh faces. As Dante Curtis and Sammy Roush is still battling side by side. Roush gets a little bit loose out of 2. Curtis is going to get the advantage into 3. New leader in 0-3 and Dante Curtis coming out of 4. Now it's official. Joe Schaefer Jr. is going to finally maybe make his way around Goddard there, as it looks like Goddard's got a little damage on his right front. Yeah, Joe Schaefer Jr. in the 3rd. Here comes Jim Caudell Jr. just behind him, showing his nose under Michael Goddard. Jim Caudell Jr. has been extremely fast here in this past month or so. We got our first caution down there on the back. Tyler Price is looped around the wrong direction. Pajari is facing the wrong direction. Go ahead and pull up the SARA TV instant replay. See Pajari getting down in there. Souza and AJ Rogers, that's our head-to-head throwdown guys getting involved. And then Tyler Price and Pajari just get the raw end of the deal there. Price goes it off the outside wall. He's going to go back down and hit the inside wall here, probably in frustration. But that's what happens when you qualify bad. You start in the back where a lot of things can happen in front of you. And then he's going to pull it off and just park it as he murks himself going down to the inside now. So he's extremely frustrated, understandably so, because he was fast here last night and had a raw deal, and then he was fast here tonight, and it's really no fault of his own outside the qualifying attempt, starting in the back. So he'll have to pick up the pieces from there and go to next week. See how he can do there next week at Southern National. So quick caution here. Dante Curtis is your leader on lap 9 of 150. Air temp is at a balmy 80 degrees. Track temperature is at 83, so just a little bit warmer. 5-mile-an-hour winds out of the southeast, mostly cloudy skies here. And luckily it's not too much warmer than what it is, because these cars can be a handful, especially in these later runs. Coming out of the turns, they're spinning the tires pretty good. Got a couple guys in the chat right now. Jelly Doe, Jordan Churchill, thanks for joining us here tonight. Hopefully y'all enjoy this show. These guys have put on a heck of a show, like I said, in the past couple of weeks. Now, we cannot take tires here tonight, and there's also a gentleman's rule. We'll go ahead and explain that here just real quick, as I explain it each week for all our new viewers. If you do cause a caution, it is best that you do claim the caution. You're highly encouraged to claim fault for any cautions that you may cause. You'll be given an EOL during the race if you do claim that caution. Now, if you do not claim the caution, the admins do go back and watch the race, and cautions come out and they see them, and none of them were claimed on that lap, and it seemed to be your fault. You get an EOL at the end of the race for the end of the results. So it's always best to go ahead and take it. Try to work your way back up through the field. Don't know if anybody took it there between Souza and looks like Souza did, because he ended up moving back there a little bit. And AJ Rogers is AJ Rogers at 15th currently. We're at 1 to go. They're going to go ahead and double it up here. The restart will be on Dante Curtis. Like I said, there is a box here at Myrtle Beach, and the admins have deemed that you restart in that box. Not a very, very big restart box, so we'll see what Curtis does here. He shouldn't have an issue on these initial restarts and getting it hooked up and going. As these laps count down, the tires get older and hotter. It's going to be harder to restart. See what he does here. Coming back to the green. We are green, green, green. He gets a heck of a start there. Roush is probably going to try to fall in behind him. Matt Rolfe goes up to the third lane. They're in the third row. Him and Jim Caudell Jr. are side by side there for 5th place. And Joe Schaefer Jr. is going to look down at the inside of Roush. They're going to be side by side coming out of turn 4 here. Roush is going to have the momentum on the outside. Go back down into 1. Joe Schaefer Jr. is going to try to make short work of Roush, but Roush has shown that he can be pretty strong on the outside here. There's pretty much single file behind these two guys from about 3rd all the way back to about 16th. Guys are trying to fill each other out right now as Roush ends up working his way around Joe Schaefer Jr. Now, if you want to know if the outside line's coming in or not, the guy to watch right now, I can look at him currently, as we've got a good battle going on for 2nd, was David Kikorian. As soon as you see that guy move up top and he starts making some headway, you best well believe that other people are going to be doing it as well. He's going to be the first one to go up there and start seeing if there's any extra grip on that outside line. Right now, he's back there in 13th spot, so he's kind of in the middle of the field currently. As Roush gets down into the turn, extremely loose. Joe Schaefer Jr. is going to get under him here, so is Jim Caudell Jr. Goddard's on the rear end of Roush, and he's going to sneak in just behind. Good move by Goddard to get down to the inside, just sneak in between Jim Caudell and Matt Rolfe. Roush got loose into 1, didn't exactly see what happened. I was looking for Kikorian on the scoreboard. Now Roush is starting to go backwards. As he's got Matt Rolfe down underneath him. He's got Ty Spearman behind him and Ryan Matthews in the 51 car just underneath him. Dante Curtis is trying to squeak away from these guys while they're all doing battle back here. Joe Schaefer Jr. may try to run him down, but the first 4 cars there are single file. But these next 10 cars or so are double file on back, trying to figure it out who can get in front of who here. Still early on, it's around lap 20 of 150, a long, long way to go. Right now wouldn't be the best time to go a full 10 tenths right now. Some of these guys are probably just trying to save their stuff, maybe like a Mullis or a Rolfe or whatever. Maybe going about 6-7 tenths, especially trying to save that right rear so you don't make it too mad and you're loose off. It's already hard enough to get drive off in these cars. Roush is still holding strong on the outside. Jimmy Mullis has made his way up to the outside now. On the outside of Ryan Matthews. And if you can keep someone pinched down here just a little bit, you can definitely make a pass on the outside. As now Ty Spearman's on the outside of Matt Rolfe. He's going to go ahead and get around him. So this top side's definitely coming in, and this is the place to be right now. See some of these guys that are ahead, like Ty Spearman and Roush, they're running up top and then they're cutting the center pretty well, and they're going to try to square off the exit, get a good drive off. Extremely close there with Jimmy Mullis and Ty Spearman. Battle for 6th place. Matt Rolfe's done move back up. Mullis is back down low. He's got his Sim Marketing Solutions Toyota. Looks good. It's a good looking car. He's down low trying to get past Ty Spearman. Like I said, right now the top side is pretty fast. But if he makes this work, you may see some other guys go back down low. But it's tough going on the bottom currently around this joint. That's extremely close. Oh, and Mullis and Spearman made contact. Rolf has to check up. And there's a big, and they're trying to wreck on the backstretch as Ryan Matthews has to dart down pit road. That's a tough break there for him. Matthews got caught up in that, and it's just a super raw deal for Ryan Matthews. He got shoved down pit road when Jimmy Mullis and Ty Spearman made contact. They had some really close action there in the middle of the two. Made Spearman check up, and then everyone else behind him check up. For Matt Rolfe here, it looks like he fell back to 17th. He's got some damage on his left front. He had to really get caught up in, or check up for that mess. Yeah, and Ryan Matthews ended up going a lap down in that deal. But right now, he's looking for a caution to hopefully maybe get the wave around, as he is currently the first car a lap down. Go ahead and get it out of the way of the leaders. A lot of action that was going on there. I don't think it was just close, hard racing. And Mullis is now looking down to the inside of Samuel Roush for 5th place, trying to work his way into the top 5. So the two that ended up causing that mess got away scot-free, and then there's a few guys behind them that didn't work out too well for him. As now Mullis is going to look down to the inside in 1 and 2. Roush gets the drive off with the momentum on the outside. Going to throw it down back into 3. They're side by side coming out of 4. That's a tough spot there, right there, is where you get that a lot of momentum built up here on the outside, and you can definitely keep the inside car down. Mullis now draws even with him down the back. Give a few more laps, he's probably going to work his way around Roush here and have a set of sights on Michael Goddard just in front of him. Currently, Dante Curtis is still leading as he's up about 3/4 of a second over Joe Schaefer Jr. and Jim Caudell Jr. Starting to get a long green flag run to it. There was a couple of them last night that we had 2 races last night with 22 cars each, if I'm not mistaken. And both of them had decent green flag runs, and we see one here currently. Track temp's up to 88 degrees now. Was at 83, so as you judging by that, the track's getting hotter with more and more laps is getting put on it. Guys are losing grip. Car's going to get a little bit looser as they go. Going up here to Joe Schaefer Jr. as he is drawing Dante Curtis, drawing him in here just a little bit. Now it's down to a 1/2 second, so he's taking a 1/4 of a second out of his lead here in just a few amount of laps. They're coming up on Alan Pajari here. Put him a lap down. They'll catch him in the next few laps as well. Schaefer Jr. gets into the wall just a little bit, and you got to be careful with that backstretch wall here at Myrtle Beach. You get the right side up into that wall, and it can suck you into it. Grab the tires and do some damage to the right side. In worst case, it can actually flip you over on your lid too. So you got to be extremely careful with it. Not hit that outside wall, and Joe Schaefer Jr. gets away with one there. Go back to Jimmy Mullis as he's still side by side with Samuel Roush here for the 5th place as he finally gets by him. Now he's going to try to work over Michael Goddard. And he's about the only one that's making this inside work consistently. So he's got something figured out here. We spoke with him last week, and I don't think he's even turned a lap here prior to coming into this week for this week's race. He's a quick shoe, so he's got it figured out pretty good here. Like I say, he's about the only one that's working the bottom over. As he gets a little bit loose, and him and Roush kind of make a little bit of contact coming out of turn 2. Going in the right direction. We're almost a 1/3 of the way through this race. Track tip keeps going up. Before you know it, tempers will follow along with it. Go ahead and go on board with last season's champion here and last week's winner, Jimmy Mullis. You're going to be learning from one of the best right here. I'll shut up. You just listen. Never mind. I won't shut up. There's a caution. Let's see what's going on here. As we're on lap 43 of 150. We had a caution just come out, and yeah, we're not able to find who the caution was or what exactly brought it out. As going through the field here, it looks like everyone's pointing the right direction. Yep, not 100% sure, so we won't pull that one up. Just comes out. Dante Curtis is still leading the way. He is currently he's led 40 laps. His best lap so far is almost a 19 flat. So he's done well. He's led 40 of the 45. Got around Samuel Roush there on lap 5 and hasn't looked back so far, but we did see that Joe Schaefer Jr. and Jim Caudell Jr. was reeling him in there just a little bit. So this caution may have done him a favor. Put some life back in his tires. We'll see if he's able to hang on, as we've had 3 lead changes. It's our second caution of the night. Go ahead and bring up the standings right now. Got to go through those. So we'll just go ahead and give you the top 5 in the point standings currently. You'll see Joe Schaefer Jr. is on top of the point standings, and Jim Caudell Jr. and Jimmy Mullis have reeled him in a little bit over these past couple of weeks, but the thing for Joe is right now his competitors are in his mirror, so right now he's getting the better end of that currently. Still a long way to go, and we'll see how it plays out. Cameron Hamilton is 4th, and 5th is Keith Medeiros. There's caution, the track temp there currently isn't up on your screen, but looking at it there, it's down to 86 degrees. It got up as high as 89 under that green flag run, so track temp's gone down just a few degrees under this caution, which means the bottom will be the way to get back around here once more, most likely. It'll probably pop up here once we go back to green. Route 1 to go. Dante Curtis once more. Joe Schaefer Jr. is going to be on the outside of him now. He's, we'll see what he does here, if he's able to do anything on the outside. If Caudell Jr. can maybe pop him here and just get up to 2nd place and give Dante Curtis a little battle for the lead. Right now the cream's starting to rise to the top as you have your top 3 in points right there and in the top 5. Coming back to the green. We are green, green, green. Curtis gets off to a great start. Schaefer and Caudell Jr. are going to be side by side as they go down into turn 1. Curtis with a heck of a start, and he's already pulling away here just a little bit as the rest of the field is double file behind him. Schaefer Jr. are going to do everything you can to go ahead, and it looks like he's going to go ahead and get around Jim Caudell Jr. So you don't have to worry about him much anymore. Now Caudell has to worry about Michael Goddard here. So this outside is not too bad on restart, surprisingly enough to myself and maybe to some other people. Goddard's going to go ahead and be in 3rd officially that lap. Caudell's going to go ahead and get the advantage here, going back down into 3 and 4. There you go. Dead heat at the line. Goddard's holding strong. He is. He's having a great race here. He had a great qualifying run. He's still up here running in the top 5 and giving the guys that have been fastest week after week, you know, a run for their money here. As we're just past the third of the way through this, we're in lap 53 of 150. Got second and third in points here, running fourth and fifth. Goddard, who is not in the top 10 in points, but he's having a good showing here tonight. Maybe try to work his way back up in there, as we still do have about a quarter of the season left. Like Jim Caudell Jr. is going to finally clear Goddard coming out of 2. Goddard's just hanging it right around there on his right quarter. Finally has him cleared there. Finally was able to work him over. Jimmy Mullis is going to throw it down into turn 1. He's not even going to mess around with Goddard, and Goddard's going to fall in behind in fifth place here. As we've seen these two do battle last week, excuse me, with Jimmy Mullis and Jim Caudell Jr. put on a heck of a show there at Langley. Going back up front, Joe Schaefer Jr. is on the rear bumper of Dante Curtis. D. Schaefer is about a half a lane higher than Curtis, getting into at least 3. See what he does here as he gets into 1. He's about 3/4 to a quarter, or to a full car higher than Curtis as well. Curtis is having some pretty good drive off down low, so him and Mullis have been able to figure out at least coming off low in turn 2. Mullis is in a league of his own coming out of 4. Yeah, Schaefer's way up the track there. You see he's trying to search for a little bit more grip as Curtis gets loose out of 2 as I say that. Joe's trying to really square off the exit of these turns so he can get a good drive out of the turn like he's doing right now. He's going to show the nose on Dante Curtis, so we got a battle for the lead on lap 59 of 150. Schaefer Jr. and Curtis are side by side coming out of 2. Curtis a little bit loose there still. Side by side to 3 and 4. Curtis going to have a drive out of 4 here. Give that lap to Curtis. Not ready to give up the lead just as of yet. Schaefer Jr. moves up the track just a little bit, and if he gets the drive here, he'll have him clear out of 2. If he doesn't, here comes Curtis fighting back on the outside. Either driver not giving too much room here of that short track racing. New leader, 6 car. Joe Schaefer Jr. officially led that lap, but he's still not able to shake the 0-3 of Dante Curtis. Waiting in the wings is Jim Caudell Jr. and Jimmy Mullis, trying to see which one of these guys get it figured out. As Curtis and Schaefer Jr. super close getting into 3 and 4. Down straightaway, you can go ahead and give it to Schaefer Jr. there once again. Yeah, Curtis is being a pest right now, just hanging on the outside, but he's doing what he has to do. He's not ready to give up the lead, nor should he have to give up the lead. As Schaefer's loose out of 4. Good save by him. Still officially the leader, and it looks like they tied on that lap. Curtis gets the drive out of 2. They're gonna, ooh, that was super close as they almost hit doors. Bulls got around Caudell as they finally do hit. Schaefer gets into the door of Curtis. Curtis saved it. Hell of a save by Dante Curtis. That's some of his dirt experience coming in there as him and Joe Schaefer Jr. hit getting down into 2. Curtis saved it, and kudos to Caudell Jr. and Mullis not running him over. The heck of a save as he's falling back to 4th. May have to give his tires a few laps there to pull back down. But we do have a new leader in Joe Schaefer Jr. We'll see if he's able to pull away from the field here. And Samuel Roush got extremely loose. He was just out of camera there. He got extremely loose out of 4 and had the whole field checked up there once more. Cameron Hamilton's going to go ahead and try to get around him. There's DK and Ty Spearman and Matt Rolfe there just behind them. Looks like we got a battle for the lead here. Joe Schaefer Jr. and Jim Caudell Jr. Jim Caudell is just under Joe Schaefer Jr. in 1 and 2. He was about a half a tenth faster than Joe that last lap. So Joe's going to have a battle on his hands here, as these are your top 3 in points. And that contact he had with Dante Curtis, it may have affected him in one way or the other. Car looks pretty good from here, but it's hard to say if it did anything to him mechanically. As they're going side by side down into 1 and 2. He pulled away from Dante Curtis here just a little bit. Good battle here for the lead, and if you're Jimmy Mullis, you're probably wondering which way you should go as well. But based off of last week, he's probably going to follow Caudell Jr. through here. If Caudell Jr. can work his way around Schaefer, Schaefer's trying his hardest to maintain this lead pretty much in the same manner as Dante Curtis did. But Joe Schaefer Jr., a handful of laps prior, coming up on halfway. 3 laps to go and still halfway. These guys are side by side here once again. Going down the backstretch. No one's gaining an advantage on each other. Guys putting on a heck of a battle here for the lead in the Sim Marketing Solutions Super Series. If you're wondering how you can join here tonight and get in on this action, about the only way that you can do it up front is to do what a lot of other people do and spectate the race. However, you can work your way up to here, as this is an invite only Thursday night league, and you can race on Wednesday nights in the Davis Chassis Works Contender Series. Go on over to RaceSARA.com. Sign up there. You can go to the Sim Auto Racing Association Facebook page. Sign up there as well, as we have other nights as well. On the Monday nights, we have a dirt night. Tuesday nights, we have our Callaway Investment Street Stock Series. But for tonight, like I said, it's invite only, and this is where you have the best guys on the service racing these super late models doing battle here at Myrtle Beach Speedway for the Hub Used Racing Giveaways 150. And these guys have been side by side what seems like for 10 laps now. Not too sure how hard either one of them is pushing. I know Mullis is back there just kind of taking his time because, well, he can't really go anywhere. And he's not going to force it 3 wide. Now they're coming up on A.J. Rogers, which right now between him and Kyle Souza, Souza's winning in that Hyde's Pride head-to-head throwdown. But they're coming up on A.J. Rogers, and this might be a moving pick for one of these guys. We'll see what ends up happening. Rogers may stay out of the way as they get down into 1 and 2. And that's what he's doing. Non-issue. So kudos to A.J. Rogers for doing that. Let these leaders battle it out here as they're still side by side as we're coming to lap 79 of 150. Something we'll have to give eventually, one would think. We've had 6 lead changes, and you've seen pretty much the majority of them right here between these two guys. Jim Caudell Jr. finally gets a nose out on Joe Schaefer Jr. Going into 3. Both of them are pushing hard. They're pretty much tired of running side by side probably. Jim Caudell Jr. is going to leak ahead, and he's going to have Joe Schaefer Jr. cleared. No, he's not. Not just as of yet. As Joe's going to pull up beside him. Good run out of 4. This is where Caudell's been strong. Right here in 1 and 2. Joe's ripping the top just a little bit. Hanging that momentum. Keeping his left front on Caudell's right rear. Just behind these guys, still Dante Curtis. He's hanging on. It's been hovering right around a 1.2, 1.3 second gap between these front 3 that you're watching. Coming out of 4 here, if I had to guess, Caudell's going to have Joe cleared. As long as he can get off the turn good. But what the hell do I know? That's why I'm up here in the booth on Thursday nights, is they're still side by side. And finally, Caudell Jr. is going to have them cleared. Jimmy Mullis is going to pull up beside Joe Schaefer Jr. Joe's going to go ahead and back off and fall in behind these guys. As we do have a new leader, Jim Caudell. Jimmy Mullis is there behind him. So these guys are going to do battle here once again for the lead. And if last week was any indication how this week is going to be, it's going to be one heck of a battle between these two guys. Try that onboard shot here one more time on Jimmy Mullis. Give you the sights and sounds and what it's like to get around here in just under 20 seconds around Myrtle Beach Speedway. Crank it up. That's what it's like when you go around this track on board with Jimmy Mullis. See him working the wheel there a little bit. He also tried a different line down into one. It really didn't make too much of a difference as far as lap times go, so you see him back down to the bottom where he's comfortable at. Going back here to DK David Kokorian, who's just inside the top 10. Him and Samuel Roush are having a good battle with Spearman and Rolfe just behind them. Kokorian, oddly enough, is running down low or lower than Samuel Roush. Usually this guy's the one that's in the top groove making it happen. Not here tonight. Car's working pretty good for him down low. The Spearman with some left front damage on his 92 machine, and Matt Rolfe behind him, who got caught up in that incident there on the backstretch with some damage. We have a caution. Run through the field here and figure out who it was. It may have been Keith. Yeah, we'll go ahead and watch it on Keith Meneros here for this replay. He's just get some free screen time because I don't believe it was on him. Nothing with him at all. Well, maybe just another phantom caution. Just looking through the field here, not from what you're seeing on your screen, but I'm just going through on mine, and I don't see anything. So not 100% sure what the caution was out for. Everyone's facing in the right direction, doing what they should be doing. So another one of them cautions there, unfortunately. But whatever. So we're on lap 94 of 150. Jim Caudell Jr. is currently leading the way in this, as we have 7 lead changes. It's our 3rd caution of the night. Dante Curtis did turn the fastest lap there early on in a 19 flat, as stated earlier. Your top 3 currently is your top 3 in points. Jim Caudell Jr., Jimmy Mullis, and Joe Schaefer Jr. Dante Curtis is there in 4th, and Cameron Hamilton will round out your top 5. Been a pretty entertaining race here tonight. If you're just now joining us, Ryan Matthews was your fastest qualifier, but there's a 9-car invert. Sammy Roush was your pole sitter due to that invert. Jimmy Mullis started 10th due to the winner's invert since he won last week. Made his way up to second here. Dante Curtis has led the most laps here tonight. Jim Caudell, or Joe Schaefer Jr. and Dante Curtis made some contact there as they were battling for the lead. Joe Schaefer Jr. took the lead, and about 20 laps or so later, Jim Caudell Jr. ended up getting around Joe, and so did Jimmy Mullis. As we're coming to 1 to go, that's pretty much your race recap right there off my memory. I'm sure I'm missing some things, but this should be one heck of a finish. If it's anything from last week, stated earlier, these two guys are going to put on a heck of a show. Now, they do have a small alliance here, as Jimmy Mullis and Jim Caudell Jr. have kind of worked together on these setups here of late. So they're going to play kind, but they are going to battle each other hard as the restart is on Caudell Jr. Got to do it in this restart box coming up. We are green, green, green. Caudell Jr. gets a good restart. Looks like he didn't spin the tires too bad there. Falling in behind him is Jimmy Mullis. Schaefer Jr. is going to fall into third. Good battle there for fourth as Cameron Hamilton has finally got his name up here into the top 5. Side by side with Dante Curtis, and they are double file behind him. Coming up on 2/3 of the race, last 50 laps. Gonna be time to pull the pin and drop the hammer. If you got anything left. These guys still doing battle side by side. Coming out at 2. There's Trevor Edwards there just outside the top 5 in his 32 Toyota SMS machine. Got a good looking piece there going. Good run going here tonight. Out of Shepherdsville, Kentucky. It's right down the road for me. Dante Curtis may have gotten to the wall there a little bit. I'll tell you what, the wall's been kind tonight. It wasn't so kind last night or in races prior. That thing will come out and grab you in a heartbeat. Now you see Trevor Edwards working over Dante Curtis, and unfortunately on this restart, Curtis is going the wrong direction. If he's not careful, he can lose more spots here. Side by side back down into 3. Michael Goddard there is just having a heck of a run here tonight. Had a really good qualifying run. Qualifying field as a whole is extremely close. We're talking a couple of tenths from first to last pretty much. So extremely tight field, especially for an open setup gig. And I think so Michael Goddard had a heck of a run here tonight as he started second. Edwards and Curtis are trying to figure out who wants 5th place here. These guys are still running side by side. Front 4 is single file up there. No one's giving anyone any pressure. It's the best battle on the track. Just behind them is Samuel Roush and Ty Spearman and DK and Matt Rolfe and Ryan Matthews. Those guys have been racing around each other, it seems like, all night as well. As Edwards makes a small mistake, Curtis is going to come out finally in 5th. Throw a blanket over pretty much 5th through 15th to 16th here, all the way back to Gareth Goddard. Now you see the guys starting to venture up the track a little bit as the track temperature has creeped, that's the word. It's crept back up there just a little bit. Up to 87 degrees here now. Now Ty Spearman and Michael Goddard are doing battle here down into 3rd. Now your front 5 guys are single file, even back to 6th. Spearman's trying to figure out how he can get around Michael Goddard here. And he's working the low line. You see Goddard up top there a little bit as they get close there in the middle of 3 and 4. Pretty much the name of the game here towards the end of this race is you're going to try to make everyone pass you down low. That's how it was last night. And we've only seen a couple people do it here tonight, and it's your guys that are running 1-2. So if you can't pass them down low, you may try to pass them up high, but good luck. Normally everyone's already running up into the second groove. Now everyone's starting to get single file. Handling's starting to go away in these cars. And it's going to come up to the guys that can feather that throttle and get the best drive off these last 40 laps or so. Ryan Matthews is working his way down low, maybe trying to prove you wrong as far as the leaders being the only ones that can do it. He's made a pass down low, but he was fast in qualifying. Got that raw deal there, if you remember, going by. Him and Ty Spearman were doing battle, if I'm not mistaken, and Matthews got shoved down pit road. Well, it wasn't him and Spearman, doesn't matter. He got shoved down pit road either way. Green stayed out, and he lost the lap. A couple cautions later, he's worked his way back up into the top 12, trying to get back into the top 10. He's got good speed in this car, probably a top 5 car. Plenty of time to get up through to the top 5. Let's keep an eye on him, see what he does here. Matt Rolfe just over there in front of him. Him and DK were side by side in 1 and 2. Matt's trying the bottom. Pretty much ran the set that he has last night. He probably made a few changes accordingly to tonight. And car would really cut the center extremely well, especially in 3 and 4 as the run went on. We'll see what he does here as he throws it back down low. Probably see the car rotate just a little bit so he can get the drive off. Spearman's down low on Michael Goddard there just in front of him. So the guys are starting to venture down low. Like I stated, if someone's going to try to pass you, you're going to make them try to pass you down low. If you allow them to get to your outside, then that's shame on you, because it's extremely hard to make the pass down low, as we've seen all night for the most part, outside of a few guys. See Samuel Roush trying to sneak on the outside of Spearman. Once you get above that second lane, getting in to the turn, it's extremely hard to keep the car on the right rear of the car. If you're on the outside, as we're almost 3 wide, Dante Curtis and Trevor Edwards almost made contact going down the straight. Dante Curtis is, I don't know if he's looking for a cushion up top, but there's not going to be anything there. Not too sure what happened with him. He was just in front of all this. Him and Edwards made a little bit of contact coming out of 4. They got it figured out. Fortunate break for Dante Curtis as he may try to see if he can get Edwards back here to get back into the top 5. Matt Rolfe is just under Samuel Roush here as he's worked his way around David Krikorian as the guys got stacked up there due to Curtis and Edwards creating a little paint. Matt throws it down in there, and he got on the binders pretty hard. I thought he was going to loop it there, to be honest. Starting to lose a little bit of ground now. Like I said, that inside just, it's super hard to make the passes. Ron Matthews now is going to try to see if he can join this battle and work his way through the field. Right now, Jim Caudell Jr. is still your leader. He's out to about a half-second lead over Jimmy Mullis. Joe Schaefer Jr. is about another second behind them. Caudell Jr. slowly but surely away from Mullis here. We're on lap 122 of 150, so we're coming down. Very end of this race. Got a few gaggle of cars here. You got your front 5, they're kind of right there together, front 4. got this group here that's from about 5th to 11th, 11th to 12th. You got the group right behind them that's from 13th on back. Spearman's down low on Michael Goddard. He's down determined to get around him. Probably has just a little bit of faster car than Goddard does, but like I said, with that inside line, it's just extremely hard to get the proper drive out of the turn, make that stick. I know iRacing's been working on these cars a little bit. I believe they're going to cut the horsepower down on these, which will help that out. Right now, these things have about 600, a little over 600 horsepower underneath the hoods of these super late models. Had that in real life, you'd be really fast. It's hard to hook up with these smaller tires on these cars compared to the horsepower. They'll make some other changes to them as well. So here in the upcoming weeks, whenever they decide to release that, they see some more side-by-side racing than what we already have here currently. David Kikorian's getting around Sammy Roush, and Matt Wolf is going to try to follow him through here. Both those guys are now recorded into the top 10. Roush is way up top. Losing the handling there, looks like on his car. Falling behind Matthews. But Roush back to 12th. Matthews up to 11th. And I tell you what, I don't know if he'll qualify for the hard charger or not. But Ryan Matthews would be the hard charger in my book if he's able to come away with the top 10 here tonight after spinning out down pit road, no caution, going a lap down, and working his way back up to what could possibly be a top 10 finish or better. David Kikorian's made his way on the outside of Michael Goddard here. He can hang that left front, like just right there, hanging just by that left rear quarter all the way up to the door. He's probably going to end up making this pass here in the next lap or so. Matt Rolfe is, well, he's pretty much been following DK all race. He's probably sick and tired of looking at his rear bumper. DK gets a good drive out of 2. He's going to have Goddard clear out of 2. Now it's Rolfe starting to see if he can get around Goddard here for 9th place. As he does so, he's going to have him cleared getting into 1. Now Goddard's got to worry about pretty much one of the fastest cars on the track, and Ryan Matthews. We're on lap 132, and Jimmy Mullis has reeled in Jim Caudell Jr. here a little bit. Last week we seen contact between these two, incidental contact, and that left some people in a hissy fit on who it was, and people were pointing fingers and stuff, but fact remains Mullis was your winner last week, and we'll see what ends up happening this week between these guys. Guarantee they don't want to make contact with any sorts. These guys are pretty much teammates as far as I know it. And Mullis is going to be careful here to get around him. Now Mullis does have to make up some points. Like I said, as he's 3rd in points, so ideally he would love to get around Caudell Jr. to make up points and get that victory. At 16, coming to 15 to go. Gonna start putting some pressure on him. These guys are going to come into lap down traffic, but it's only going to be 1 or 2 cars by the end of this race, so it's pretty much mano a mano, just these 2 guys going for the win here tonight for the Hub used Sim Racing Giveaways 150 at Myrtle Beach. Running just a little bit of different line. Jimmy Mullis is a little bit lower on entry in 1 and 2 than Caudell Jr. A little bit higher in 3 and 4, so he's pretty much running where Caudell Jr. is not. They're mirroring each other's lap times. Mullis is just a shade faster. Back down into 3 and 4. As stated before, and we've seen it in the last handful of weeks especially, these leaders have been running nose to tail a lot of late and putting on great battles here week in and week out. But if you're expecting one of these leaders to make a mistake, you've come to the wrong place, because these are top guys. They do not make mistakes. You're going to have to earn every position that you get and every inch on the track. So Mullis is sizing up Caudell, trying to figure out where he's better than Caudell, figure out where he needs to be better than Caudell, and see if he can mount a charge here to get around Caudell Jr. Potentially squeak away with the win. Yeah, he does have some room here to try a few things, as Joe Schaefer Jr. is about 2.5 seconds behind these guys, but he can't try too much, can't lose too much ground, as he hasn't really made up too much time on Caudell Jr. now that he's caught him. He may try some things 1 and 2 if I were him, but he's much better than I am. What the hell do I know? But 1 and 2 would probably be his best bet to try to get a better drive out of 2. If he goes in higher into 1 and 2, it really squares up the center and exit, get that drive off. Now it's a little double apex there in 1 and 2, so that's where you can really make that work. Caudell Jr. barely gets in the wall out of 2. Starting to pull away a little bit from Mullis as well. As we're down to 8 to go. See if Mullis can mount one last charge here. Work his way back up to the rear bumper of Jim Caudell Jr. They are coming to lap down cars. There's one in front of them. Appears to be Matt Eddy, if I'm not mistaken. It is. He'll get out of the way. He generally will for the leaders here. Won't cause any issues. Just in front of them is Keith Medeiros, if I'm not mistaken. And no, it's Kyle Souza, and he'll get out of the way there as well. So these leaders shouldn't have any issues and worry about these lap down cars. They're going to be coming to 5 to go. Mullis reels him in just a little bit there in the center. Where he's losing a little bit of time is on exits. Wherever he's making up on the entry, he's losing it right back there from center off. Coming down 4 to go. What can Mullis do? He's running out of time. I know he's trying his darndest. He's a pro for a reason. Jim Caudell Jr. is no slouch of his own. Already got a couple of wins on the season. A lot of top 5s. Like I said, he's second in points. They come up to Matthew Eddy. Eddy's going to stay way up top here. As stated, it shouldn't be an issue, but hopefully he doesn't catch. Oh, they did. Caudell Jr. caught him in a bad spot as he coming out of turn 2. It's going to allow Mullis to pull up to the rear bumper of Caudell Jr. as we're coming to 2 to go. Eddy's holding strong here on the outside. He's not willing to give up. Ryan Newman must be driving that car. Not letting these leaders go with any ease, as they got Souza and Pajari just in front of them. Come down in 3 and 4. They're going to be coming to the white flag. If you're Jimmy Mullis, now is the time. Will he put the rear bumper to Caudell? They go back down into 1 and 2 for the final lap. Coming out of turn 2. Not able to do anything there. Going down to 3 as Caudell Jr. gets a little bit loose. Mullis is going to try something here. See if he can cut it down low on late exit and get a drive. He won't do it here, as Jim Caudell Jr. will come away with the victory here tonight. Jimmy Mullis will come away second. Joe Schaefer Jr. in third. Cameron Hamilton in fourth. Trevor Edwards will round out your top 5 here for the Hub Used Sim Racing Giveaways 150 at Myrtle Beach Speedway. So you've seen Jimmy Mullis try everything that he could do. Caught up to Jim Caudell Jr., just could not work his way around him. Racing clean the whole way, and came away in second. Like I said, with your race winner here tonight, Jim Caudell Jr. Pretty much in dominating fashion once he finally worked his way around Joe Schaefer Jr. for the lead there. He finally was able to sneak away and come away with 72 laps led here tonight. Go ahead and spin around and do a little victory lap. We did have 7 lead changes, only 3 cautions here tonight. It's a quick race, and pretty exciting race. Like I said, the track temp got up there a little bit. Guys were slip sliding around. Your guys who were 1, 2, 3 in the points finished 1, 2, 3 here tonight. Claudio's going to burn them down. Still burning them down. Guys are getting out of their cars here. We'll get some interviews with some of them here once they get out of their cars. See what they think. Like I said, you got these guys have trimmed down the point lead once more as Joe Schaefer Jr. was only up 25 points on Jim Caudell Jr. and Jimmy Mullis. Both of them cut into that even more. We're going to have an exciting last quarter of the year. We're off next week. But after that, we're at Southern National. It's going to be an exciting race to watch there as well. That little high bank bull ring. Caudell's going to go ahead and pull it down into victory lane. And he's going to park it right there, as would I. Go ahead and get him out of his car here. The C&J Energy Services Ford Fusion. While we're waiting on these guys, let's go ahead and pull in, see if we can pull in Ryan Matthews here just real quick. He's up here just hanging out. I want to get a word with him to see what happened with him as he finally did squeak into the top 10. Ryan, I pulled you in here just out of all of a sudden. We're waiting for the top 3 to get out of their cars and everything. If you can explain to us real quick what happened, it was just off camera with you. We seen you go sliding down pit road. What happened right there?
Yeah, it looked like a couple cars in front of us hit the wall, and then we just started checking up, and I got hit from behind, and they just slung me into the pits. I had a choice of either hitting the barrel, nose first, or going to the pits and losing 20 spots and going a lap down, and I chose that. So didn't really help us out much, but I think that was a better choice.
Well, I mean, you came away with the top 10, and I said earlier in the broadcast, if you're able to come away with the top 10 here tonight, then you deserve the hard charger. I don't think you're eligible for it based off where you started and everything, but, you know, you went that lap down, and, of course, you got some cautions to go your way there so you can get back on the lead lap, but, you know, you worked your way back up through the field. You had a fast car here tonight, and you had a great qualifying lap there as you qualified on pole technically, and, you know, started back due to the invert. But if it wasn't for that spin, you think you had at least a top 5 car?
Yeah, it would have been tough. I think we could have had, probably around top 5, maybe 7th, but the car was good. Maybe a little more roll center, but we'll work on it for next week.
All right, well, we'll definitely keep an eye on you. It was a tough break there, but congratulations on the top 10. Like I said, that's super exciting. As a fellow racer, it's super impressive. So, you know, like I said, tough break, but congratulations on that, and hopefully we can talk to you next week, bud.
Thank you. I got to thank my team, Northeast Motorsports. They did an awesome job helping me with the setup and spotting and all that. But yeah, thank you.
Oh, not a problem, bud. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. That was Ryan Matthews. Like I said, went down a lap down due to that little wreck or mishap on the backstretch, and did a heck of a job driving it back up through the field to finish 10th. But currently we got the 3rd place guy, current point leader, and Joe Schaefer Jr. Joe, thanks for joining us here. Congratulations on your 3rd place victory. You led some laps there about halfway through the race, but just wasn't enough here tonight. What were you lacking there, or what did you need more to hang with those front two?
Yeah, I just couldn't get through the center of the corner. I mean, there's something a little different this week than what I'd ran in the past, and to not sound too much like Kyle Busch, it was great, but it's not what I wanted.
Well, you know, you came away 3rd, so, you know, you at least did a little bit of damage control here on your points. We're off next week, but the week after that, we're at Southern National, which you run extremely well there. So what are you looking forward to, you know, in that race?
I guess on the bright side, if I would have won this week, I would have had to start 10th at my favorite track, so I can take that as a positive. I have to rebuild something and if we can find a little extra for Southern National, because these last 4 weeks are going to be tough if Jim's going to be winning and finishing 2nd every week.
Yeah, I mean this last quarter of the year is going to be extremely exciting to watch as you guys are keep running around each other. They're mounting a charge for that point lead, and I'm pretty sure you can get it figured out. It's in you. You're a 3-time series champion for a reason. So we'll definitely see what happens next week for the Canadian Rail Serve 150 at Southern National Motorsports Park. Before we get you on your way, is there any sponsor shout outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, I just want to thank the posse, Left-Hander Chassis, and Charlie at the Button Box Shop.
All right, well, congratulations on your third place finish here tonight, and maybe we'll talk to you again here in a couple weeks.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you. Thank you.
All right, bud. That's Joe Schaefer Jr., third place finisher here tonight. We'll go ahead and bring in Jimmy Mullis, who came away in second place and mounted a charge there late on Jim Caudell Jr. Jimmy, congratulations on your second place finish here tonight. Kind of like last week, it was between you and Jim going for the battle for the win here late. This week he came out on top. What were you lacking there? What more did you need just to get around him?
I mean, he was just getting off the corners better than I was. I was doing everything I could, but our car just in general, it was, really, really good around the bottom. So I knew it was going to be tough to pass him. And I think the fact that I had to come from 10th probably didn't help my case with the tires. But all in all, it was a great race. I really enjoyed it. I was, doing everything I could to try to get around him. He was just really tough on the bottom and did a good job of holding on.
Yeah, it looks like you two and Matthews there late was we're only ones that were making some passes consistently at the bottom. And so y'all definitely had something a little bit figured out here, tonight. Now, here in a couple weeks, we'll be at Southern National Motorsports Park. So do you think you have anything for there, or you looking forward to that race as well?
I don't know. We've obviously been good the first 2 races we've worked together. So, I mean, hopefully the trend continues. But that's a completely different racetrack compared to what we've been on these past 2 weeks. So, we'll just have to see. Southern National's a track that I've never raced at, like in this series or anything super competitive. So it's kind of going to be a first time for me, but I think we'll get it figured out.
Yeah, you're a quick shoe and you're good. So I'm pretty sure that you all will get it figured out. Congratulations here once again. You and Caudell cut into Joe Schaefer Jr.'s point lead, so it's going to be a tight battle here over these last 4 weeks. But before we get you on your way, is there any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Obviously, just got to thank the association and Lockdown Racing. I mean, Jim, Cam, and TP, they all did, heck of a job this week on the car and with all the testing and all that good stuff. Cam really did a lot with the setup this week. He knocked it out of the park. It was really good. So shout out to him, and also big thanks to Sim Marketing Solutions and Toyota for coming on board for the rest of the season. Thankfully, they offered to come on board for the rest of this season, and hopefully we can line something up possibly for next season, as well as JDR Graphics and you guys for the broadcast, of course.
Well, it was our pleasure. It was a heck of a race here to watch tonight. And like I said, congratulations again on your P2 finish. And maybe we'll talk to you here in just a couple of weeks at Southern National.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. That was Jimmy Mullis, last season's series champion. He's currently P3 in the points, cutting down the point lead over Joe Schaefer Jr. That's enough talk about those two guys. Let's talk about the guy who came away with the victory here tonight, and Jim Caudell Jr. Brother, congratulations on your victory here tonight for the Hub Used Sim Racing Giveaways 150 here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. You led 72 laps here tonight. Once you and Joe finally got it figured out there, and you got around Joe Schaefer Jr. after about your 20-plus lap battle side by side, you're able to pull away. Jimmy caught you there late on that run. Did you think you had enough to hold him off?
Knew it would be close. I was trying to I knew he was coming after that last restart, and I was trying to take care of my tires as much as I could while I was trying to get by Joe, because I knew Jimmy would probably just be able to ride and kind of wait for that to sort itself out. So, it also, he had to, Joe's car was really good, so I had to push, fairly hard to get by him. So, it was tough, we seem to have a little bit more forward traction. That seems to be key, current iteration of these cars. So I think that really helped. It would have been really tough to pass this because it was just getting off the corner so good. But I really appreciate Jimmy giving me some room while me and Joe was racing. That helped out, and race with Joe was fantastic. He ran me clean the whole time. So this fun stuff. It's great to put the car back in victory lane again after last week. It was a great week. When you think about it, second place, and the team car's done so good. But it always hurts when you're that close to winning one, you don't. So it was pretty good.
Yeah, well, it was an exciting race. We had 7 lead changes there, and I mean, you and Joe, like I said, went back and forth forever. And like you stated, Mullis was just kind of back there camping out, waiting for y'all to figure it out. But he wasn't able to get around you. And like I said, he came away with the victory here tonight. Now we're off next week, but the week after that, we're at Southern Nationals Motorsports Park. Do you have any experience running around that joint in these cars, or what do you look forward to in that race?
I do have a little experience. If I know one thing about Southern National, it's going to be watch for the 10 car, because he's going to be so good there. Every time we go there, he always kind of leads us. So I look forward to seeing if we can even come close to him, and Joe and Jimmy and Ryan and a lot of these guys. Ty will be good, David. So it's a task every week, and you got to be really good. So hopefully we get it figured out, and I look forward to it. The last time, like I said, when I was there, we Cam ran up front, and we kind of struggled for a top 5. So hopefully we'll be pretty good next week. I've got a lot of confidence in the car right now.
Well, you're the first repeat winner this year, so congratulations on that. And we'll definitely keep an eye out for the top 3 in points specifically. We'll keep an eye out for Hamilton there as well next week, since you state he's going to be fast. And since you've been fast all year, I'll take your word for it. And congratulations here once again for finishing on the top box. Before we get you on your way and let you go and celebrate, is there any thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank my beautiful wife. She watched the race tonight. My mom, my sister, my boss and good friend Chris from C&J. Thank the guys at the association for working really hard, on the setup this week and getting it really, really good. Cam was kind of, leading the charge this week and kind of got us headed in the right direction. Jimmy for running a good clean race, and had fun testing with him quite a bit this week. Hate that Tyler Breeden couldn't make it, and Tyler Price got wrecked early. And kind of hate that for him, because he put a lot of effort in this week, and just kind of one little mistake in qualifying kind of turned his night bad. But again, thanks to you guys for putting the broadcast on. Thanks to Matt and everybody that puts the league on. It's been a blast, and look forward to seeing you guys in a couple weeks. Hope everybody has a good off week.
Yes, sir. Well, it was a joy once again, and congratulations, and we'll see you at Southern National.
All right. Thanks, Derek.
All right, bud. Jim Caudell Jr., your winner here tonight for the Hub Used Sim Racing Giveaways 150 in the Sim Marketing Solutions Super Series at the Sim Auto Racing Association. Say that 3 times fast. We're going to see Caudell Jr. pull the car away and go ahead and take it back to the pits. And as he's doing that, we'll go ahead and bring up the results here and go run through those. As we just got done speaking with Jim Caudell Jr., was your winner here. Jimmy Mullis was second. Joe Schaefer Jr. was third. Cameron Hamilton, who we need to look out for at Southern National apparently, ran fourth. Trevor Edwards came away with the top 5 finish. Get that right one of these times. David Kokorian finished 6th. Joel Wiley Vet finished 7th. Michael Goddard with a good race here tonight, finishing 8th. Matt Rolfe finished 9th. Right out your top 10, as we spoke with him, was Ryan Matthews coming away with the top 10 finish. That was very impressive on his part. Click the right button. Starting, excuse me, I'm tired, apparently. 11th here tonight was Jason Miller. 12th was Samuel Roush. 13th was Jared Boers. 14th with a nice top 15 finish was Russell Berry. 15th was Brandon Wilkinson. 16th, Alan Pajari. 17th, Dante Curtis. He had rough luck there towards the end, but had a great race overall. 18th, Matthew Eddy. 19th, which is your Hides Pride Leather and Sheepskin Throwdown winner here tonight, Kyle Souza. 20th, Keith Medeiros. 21st, Gareth Gonder. 22nd, A.J. Rogers. 23rd, Ben Nile. 24th, Grant Brown. Last but certainly not least, once again, Tyler Price. That's going to do it for us here tonight at SARA TV. And we had a great show here tonight. Jim Caudell Jr. lead 72 laps to come away with the second victory of the season, being your first repeat winner. Can he be your first three-peat winner here in a couple weeks at Southern National Motorsports Park for the Canadian Rail Serve 150? That is Thursday, July 26th. Come back and join us once more on YouTube or Facebook or however you may be watching for that race. I'm your host here tonight, Derek Robinson. Your producer is Clay Snyder. This is SARA TV. You all have a good night.